Hello guys, in this video we're actually going to do things a little differently. I had a friend who just recently leveled to level 70, just bought the game, brand new to Diablo, didn't play the previous ones, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in that boat. And you know, the game did come out almost 2 years ago, and it kind of brought a brand new crowd in once Reaper of Souls was coming, once the second patch 2.0 hit. You know, it really started to bring a lot of talk back to the game and brought a lot of new players to the game. And this video is more for them and maybe just a recap in case you might not have picked up on everything along the way. But this video is strictly for those folks who don't have the Diablo experience. And speaking from a layperson, I'm not a person who reads the forums. I'm not a person who researches a bunch of stuff to get into the intricacies of the game, but I do know, you know, a lot of the base stuff from a layman's perspective. And we're going to look at a lot of stuff. What happens when you hit 70? And I think, you know, a lot of people get there, they beat the game, and now all of a sudden they're like, well, what do I do now? You know, I mean, there's a lot there. And the game has done a pretty good job of bringing people into, all right, what do I need to do? And they've got Tyrael standing there, and you talk to Tyrael, and then you've got Orek over here, and you got the rifts, and he'll kind of give you a little bit of an update on what needs to be done and you know what's involved. But you know, even after that, you're wondering, what do I do? And so this first video we're going to cover, what do I do now? You know, I'm level 70 and I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So we're going to go over that. So the first thing you can do is go into a regular game. Now I've got this on Torment 1, but I also have a lot of gear because I've been playing a while. But if you've just played straight through the game, you probably don't have a lot of gear. So you're wondering, what do I do next? So you're going to adjust the difficulty level, and you can do this. They've added this here. You can't raise it in these games, but you can lower it. You can open the game to public. You can do all kinds of stuff. Some of you are going to prefer to play alone or play with friends, and that's great because you can invite them in. But there are some benefits to playing in a group and also going into a group play. And right now we're going to go over individual play. You're able to kind of relax, take your time, but depending on how your play style is, where your gear's at, it might also be a little bit more difficult. There are times in the game where you've probably found that it's more difficult than others until you get more gear. And so what you would want to do if you're going to play by yourself, we'll go back out to the load screen here. You can play through the campaign mode again if you like the campaign mode. You've got the game settings here. But adventure mode, this is where everything's kind of at. And this is where everybody's playing once they've finished the campaign and they don't want to go back through it. The adventure mode is new. And they've done a really good job of explaining that, so I'm going to assume that you guys at least have a clue on what adventure mode is and what it does. And again, if you want to play a private game, then it's right here, and you can change the difficulty level all in here. And then the torment levels you raise through the slider. So we've got this. I'm going to go ahead and keep this on Torment 1. However, let's say you don't have a lot of gear and you're not real sure, well, what level do I start on? Well, that is going to depend on how lucky you've been on drops and how much you've played so far. The more gear you get, obviously, the more gear you're going to be, the more geared you're going to be to handle stronger demons, and that means both defense and offense. So I'll put this on Torment 1 for now. We're going to load up Adventure Mode, and we're going to see what's in Adventure Mode. And as we load here, we see Tyrael, and Tyrael, if you're brand new or if you've gone through, you've already talked to him and you know, hey, you know, what do I do? Okay, well, it's bounties. So you've got the map here, depending on where you start. And you've got all 5 here, and it kind of pinpoints on the map. You've got them all around here marked by exclamation points. And once you go there, you know, it tells you what to do, what all your objectives are, and that's it. When you finish, you get the Herodric cache here, you open it, and you get loot, and you get a bunch of fun stuff. Now along the way you're probably going through some stuff, and let's find a multi-level one. And the map up here, you can zoom in. You're familiar with that by hitting the tab key. You've got this here, or you can zoom out by clicking that, or you can just simply right click. So we'll go here to level 3 here, the keep depths level 3. So we click on one and we're like, all right, well, in order to do the bounties, you've got to do all 5 bounties in the same act. And here we're in Act 3. So you do all 5, and then you go back to tutorial and you turn it in. So we go in here and it says we got to kill 50 enemies and we got to kill this guy. Now, one of the things that I'm trying to find here is that sometimes you got to go through this one here, Fields of Misery, clear the scavenger's den. So let's say your objective is to get the Heraldric Cache. You want to be able to go through and you want to be able to get the gear from that. You want to get other stuff that you'll find out here in just a little bit. Now this one says enter the Scavenger's Den level 1, kill all enemies in Scavenger's Den level 2. Now that's great, but we're here in the Fields of Misery and we have to find this. And the Fields of Misery can be a big map, and depending on, you know, how patient you are and what your objectives are, let's say you're just trying to run bounties. You can run around and you can kill all the monsters, and you know that's fine. You're going to get experience, you're going to get chances for drops, but that also can take a while. So one of the objectives that you're going to want to do is to find that and just kind of go ahead and go through and not worry too much about killing everything along the way. And so one of the things that we'll kind of adjust to here is, all right, I've got all these guys hitting me, I'm taking damage. And, you know, some of this stuff you're not going to be able to avoid. You're just going to have to fight guys along the way, else you're probably going to die, like I'm about to do now. All right, so we survived that one, we got ourselves a plan, and we found the edge of the map. But it's not always beneficial to run through the entire map, and perhaps that's your playstyle, perhaps you're playing in a group, perhaps you just like the overall, you know, feel of just running through and killing all the monsters along the way. But if you're going for bounties, it's not always time efficient in terms of experience and you know, what your objective is with getting the Heraldric Cache. So a lot of times you can skip past a lot of this stuff depending on what class you're running. You might have a few skills to kind of run past everything. Some stuff will keep up with you, some doesn't. Some stuff you can just kind of shoot, tell you to leave you alone, and just kind of make your way through. And this is part of the objective here. And you know, this is a big map, and trying to find just the scavenger dens alone, that can take a while. And then you want to find level 2 once you get into level 1. And we've got this marked by the yellow arrow. The other thing is, after you're in here a little while, let's say you don't find it, it's going to go ahead and light it up on the map and kind of show you where it's at. That way you don't have to worry about, you know, running around for forever. It does kind of give you a little bit of mercy there. So the other thing is, now I'm in Scavenger Den 1, and now I've got to run all the way through Scavenger Den 1 just to get to level 2. So, you know, that was quite a bit of time if we were to walk this entire thing to try and figure out how to get to the next place. So we're going to go ahead and back out, and that's just an example. These are just small tips and hints that I'm trying to give you guys. Maybe make your leveling, your Paragon leveling, a little bit easier. So we'll go ahead and teleport back to town. We'll pretend we went all the way through Scavenger Den 1 and you know, went into 2 and killed everything in Scavenger Den 2. So the other thing is you go through and you have the rifts, and this thing right here, the Nephilim Obelisk. So you get the Rift Keystone Fragments, and it takes 5 Rift Keystone Fragments to open this up. And where do you get these? You get these on elites, you get these in chests, you get these by clearing bounties, you'll get them in your Heraldric Cache. They'll drop in various places, but it's generally when you've done something, you know, worthwhile as far as killing something or doing a quest that requires that for bounties. So you've got that, you farmed up a few, and you go in here and you click on the obelisk, and the Nephilim Rift, we'll go ahead and we'll waste 5. I'm not going to clear the whole thing and waste everybody's time. So you get a cool animation, everything kind of goes up here, and you go in here and you're like, all right. Now in the Rift, you can spawn any level in the game from any act, and any monsters from any act can spawn in there. And I think that's, you know, a lot of fun. It saves, you know, a lot of time from going through. Back before, you used to just kind of farm the same routes. You know, certain ones had certain monster density, and everybody would kind of run the same thing, and it made the game kind of boring, kind of stagnant, like you're running the same content all the time. And so they had to find a way to fix that, because I think that was kind of a buzzkill for a lot of people. So they came up with this, which I think is a fantastic idea, and a lot of people seem to like it. The other thing is, with this, is in the rifts, they actually just changed this with a patch a couple weeks ago, and they increase the drop rate of legendaries in here. And part of the main thing is most legendary gear is better, and they've been trying to fix that. You know, if you get a piece of legendary gear, you know, they want it to be better. They want it to be worthwhile. So they increased it by 100%. That doesn't mean that it's 100% drops. That means if it was 1%, it's now 2%. And we all know that the drop rate is not that high, but that's just for reference. So you come in here, that's the purpose of a rift. The rift is you come in here, you want to level your Paragon, you want to get this bar going up as usual, you want to go ahead and get gear. This is a good place to do it, but the only way to get the rift keystone fragments is by doing bounties and doing that stuff in your general area. And so eventually you'll run out. The good thing is about joining a public game is that you'll get other people in there that have them and they want to run rifts. Everybody's wanting to run rifts now because that's where the gear's at. So you'll get into a public game and you'll find it beneficial that other people have them. So you'll come in here. As you can see, we've got random enemies in here from all over the place, and we'll kill these guys real quick. And we'll go ahead and back out, and we'll go over a couple other things while we're at it. Now, what else is there? Now, you saw that I picked up the yellow. Now, before, not everybody used to pick up the yellows. Everybody had plenty of gold. Everybody had plenty of stuff to mess around with. Now, the difference now is that all of these items you're going to want to salvage as long as they're not good. If you've got enough items, then don't worry about it. All the salvaging stuff, when you salvage the yellow items here, the unique items, you're going to get veiled crystals, and you'll get 1 per, and you're going to salvage each one of these so that you can either forge armor with all the different patterns that you've picked up, such as this pattern here. You're going to need different stuff. You'll need veiled crystals. You'll need forgotten souls, which is from salvaging legendaries. Death's breath, which drop on elites and other stuff the same way that rift keystone fragments do. And these items right here, which tend to be, they'll drop off certain bosses, and there are lists out there, but we won't go over that now. And same for other items. And we're going to do another video on crafting and enchanting. But it is important when you're running around to go ahead and pick up the yellows, go ahead and pick up the blues. The blues, you're not really going to get much out of them gold-wise, so go ahead and salvage those. If you're hurting for gold like me because you do too much enchanting, you might have to sell these every now and again depending on how much you have in stock. So we'll go over another video here in a little bit in terms of enchanting and crafting gear. But for now, we're going to go back and touch base on what there is to do. And we've got the adventure mode, we've got the bounties in here, which we went over, and you can go here. And the thing is, once you've completed one whole act, let's say you've done all 5, you go to Tyrael, and then you go, and then you're like, well, wait a minute, like, am I done? No, you can go and clear these in all acts. I don't recommend Act 5 because it tends to take a little bit longer, but if you like Act 5 and you like playing it, that's fine. The good thing is when you go to Act 2, Tyrael's standing over there. Oh wait, he's also right here. That man has clones all over the place. So the good thing is you go through, you finished it, and the rift also follows you here. So you don't have to worry about like, all right, well I beat Act 1, I need to reload the game. That's just too much work, too much effort, and they've kind of fixed that so you don't have to worry about going out. So you just come in here, you go, and you're going to go to all the different rifts. So that's it, and we're going to go ahead and leave the game, and we're going to go over one more thing. And while I'm doing this, we're going to go ahead and join a public game. You just click on public game down here. You can say what you're looking for, whether you're looking for brawling, which is PvP, which isn't that great. If you're into that, you're into that. And then you've got the key warden, which we'll go over that in another video as well. And again, the difficulty level is going to be based on your gear. If you don't have the greatest gear, you're going to want to go ahead and start on normal. I know a lot of people, when you first play through, that's where you're going to be at. There are bonuses as you go through, and they've done a great job explaining all this, where you get the extra gold, you get the extra experience. So it goes on and up and up and up, and you can see all this different stuff here. So we're going to go ahead and join a Torment 1 game, and we're going to show you why as we hit join game here and load up. And this is the main thing. Now, sometimes you join a public game and you have really bad people in there, and it can be very, very frustrating. And I think that's the way it is, in a lot of games. It's kind of luck of the draw, and unfortunately, that's just how it goes. But You can go through some, you'll know when you're in a good group when things are going through. But the main part of joining a public game is this right here, strength in numbers. If you haven't joined a public game before, if you haven't played in a group before, strength in numbers, and in the tooltip here, receive increased magic find, gold find, and experience for each player nearby in a multiplayer game. So as long as you all stay together, go out and do some bounties, go out and do some rifts, you'll get the extra bonuses here. And that's all down here. We've got the extra gold find, we've got the extra magic find. It's 10% per person there, so we get 30% extra from 3 different people in there, and the bonus experience and gold find is going to be from some of the gear and the higher torment level and stuff like that. And you'll see the bonus experience went down just then from one person leaving, and another person there was 40% down. So that's why you want to stay in groups. Yes, sometimes it can be frustrating, but that's what the escape and leave game is for. If you don't like somebody, you can vote kick them out, and that requires 3 out of the 4 people to vote for that. There are lots of stuff. So those are just some of the tips, guys, as far as like what do you do next once you hit level 70 and you've killed the campaign. You've beaten Malthael and you're trying to figure out what to do next. So these are just a couple of things. This isn't everything. There's going to be a lot more stuff to this game, and there's a lot of information to take in. But just like anything, guys, stick to, continue, playing the game. You're going to pick up on more and more stuff. Be social, talk to people, get hints and tips from them. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Most people are very friendly, but if you're going to be rude and you're going to, just be mean about stuff, then, you're not going to get much help. The other thing is they've got it now to where when certain items drop, you can trade items like legendaries that are account bound. You'll see that at the bottom right of the description. You have 2 hours to trade those, and that's 2 hours of gameplay, not actual time. So you got 2 hours of gameplay to trade those with somebody else in the party. So a lot of people will link, hey, I got this legendary, and sometimes those people don't need it, and you're thinking, all right, they'll salvage it and they get the Forgotten Soul and that'll be used for enchanting. But there's a lot of nice people. I've gotten this amulet, I've gotten other gear, I think I got these pants from somebody, these gloves I got from somebody, all because, the social aspect of the game and being nice and playing with people and, just trying to be, have fun with the game. There's no need to rage on about stuff and go in there and, just be mean about stuff. You go in there, you be nice, you'll find friends, you'll have other people to play with. If you like somebody and you had a good run with them, go ahead and, add them as a friend. There's all kinds of options you can do with people. So I prefer the group play. You get the extra experience, gold find, and magic find. And the magic find, obviously really helps. So these are all things you can do. Guys, this isn't everything. This isn't all the details, but this is just from a layman's perspective, trying to help other people out. So if you got more questions, feel free to leave them below. There's always good information on the forums. Sometimes you got to filter through that stuff. But if you're like me and you get to playing a new game, you don't know everything, and sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. So we're putting this video together to try and help people out. And this is a multi-part series, so look for different stuff. Maybe it's some information you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for a little bit more information or explanation, and we'll go over that in other videos. But for now, we've gone over the rifts, we've gone over the bounties and how they work and where you can do it and all that stuff, and the benefits of group play. And playing solo, and that's all going to be personal preference. And of course, always adjust the difficulty level according to your gear. The more gear you got, the more toughness you have, the more damage you have, the more healing you have. All that's going to affect how far you can go and how strong you are. So until next time, guys, happy hunting. If you got questions, if you got comments, go ahead and leave them below. Everybody is looking for tips. Everybody's looking for a little bit of help along the way. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to, help each other out. If you don't like the video, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to help people out. And if I haven't done a good enough job explaining everything, feel free to go ahead and leave additional comments below. I'd really appreciate that to help the community out, help everybody enjoy the game, and just kind of enjoy playing Diablo 3 as much as I have. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.